Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Enlightened World Network. We're here for our meditation today, and our guest meditator is Dr. Phillip Mountrose. We're so pleased to have him with us. He is an educator, he is an author, and a speaker, and he and his wife Jane have created quite a foundation there. So, Phillip, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Great to be back with you, Ruth, and Enlightened World Network and all.
You have done so much work on meditation. Is there anything that you would like to share with us before your meditation? And I'm guessing that's Buddy in the background. Good morning to Buddy, if that is.
Yes, our dog wants to kind of get into the picture here. So
That's all right. I love Buddy. Buddy's part of the show.
Buddy is, yeah. Maybe I'm going to open the door for Buddy because otherwise it might calm him down if you don't mind them.
No, that's fine.
That might be a solution. Hold on.
We're used to Buddy joining us here on the show, so Buddy is more than welcome.
We actually have two dogs. Here's, oh boy. Okay. Am I still, okay.
We lost your video. There we go.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. Okay, anyways, I have a couple dogs now with me, our buddies and Foxy. Okay, so in preparing for the meditation we're going to go through, which I think people really enjoy, called the Still Point meditation that I created, I was thinking of how I came up with this, which was very similar to how I write articles, which I've been writing for decades now in our newsletter, our Heart of Success updates at the gettingthrough.org website, and Jane does too, my wife and partner. And I don't know how similar this is for other people, but I realize there's sort of a process which could be very practical, and it's at least interesting to people. And some people are creating, I know, their own meditations or doing writing, of course. So here's how it works. It reminds me just of kind of an inspiration, you know, the Michelangelo Sistine Chapel where God is touching the finger of is it man or Adam? I don't know who that's supposed to be, but and it's that kind of charge, that electrical charge from the divine to human. That sort of metaphorically is what I'm about to describe here. So how does it happen? So the Still Point meditation, either someone will be talking about something or reading somewhere, auditory or reading, someone may say an idea that something is triggered. There's a feeling, there's a knowingness. I don't know what it is, just like it hits something. And I don't know, I want to know if this is similar to what you go through. Because I haven't discussed this with others, but I just noticed this doing a lifetime of it, kind of getting conscious of it. So it could be an idea. It could be a sentence someone says, or I read. Sorry about that. Or it could be a phrase, or it could be a word. And to distill it down, like today's is called the Still Point meditation. It came from, I think, a sentence I read in a book that's something about a still point, maybe on an ocean. And I just was, you know, you read things, you hear things, and you just like everyone's listening now. And something happens when, with a certain word or concept, it's like that touching, that spark. You're shaking your head. Is that similar to how you experience it?
It absolutely is. And sometimes it's a title. And so if I'm talking with somebody, sometimes I get the title of what their show is, or I will get the title of an article that's supposed to be written. And then I hear the title and I ask, is that an article? Is that a show? Is that for the person I'm talking to? Am I supposed to be the one to do this? And I think sometimes it's a reminder of, oh, and then you wrote an article called blah, blah, blah. It's as if it already happened in the past and I'm just being reminded of it.
Deja vu all over again.
It is.
It's something sort of already there that you're tapping. And that's another way of saying you're tapping into something, you're uncovering something, you're discovering something. It's rather mystical. It's not rational, it's more transrational, it's more intuitive. It's not linear, but even though it sort of has you almost know that it's sort of there, like a gestalt or a container, it's all there, pre-made, but yet it still is developed and fluid and flexible and dynamic. And then say for this meditation, sometimes they come out pretty smoothly in a meditation article, and it comes out pretty just quickly. And most of them do come out relatively quickly, but to get them refined, especially for an article, that takes for me a certain amount of revision, thinking about it, rereading it, adding, subtracting to it. You know, the essence was there, but to get it refined and clear, like people say, like writing should be so clear that it seems like the easiest, most clearest thing in the world, but often to get to that point may take a lot of kind of revisions, even though it starts in this point, this inspirational point. To get to the point where it's, with writing at least, I've found, to be crystal clear, it may take quite a few rounds.
Yep.
Anyways, I wanted to share that because I just thought that might fit in here. I don't know where it fits in the creative process, shall we say, and how this still point meditation came about. Okay.
It's just the way it is today.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, we are ready, Phillip, whenever you're ready. And we'll see if Buddy will get ready too. But
okay. And this is the still point meditation. I'm going to do some channeling in it of the ocean. It kind of is going to allow some channeling that kind of came to me.
excellent.
Channeling is sort of similar to what we're saying. It's just allowing other energies in. Okay, so we can begin to relax, making any adjustments. And you know how to adjust yourself. And of course, your breath is important as you gently breathe through your nose, releasing slowly. Good. Taking a few more deep, loving breaths, imagining that you're inhaling pure light energy, and as you exhale, you're releasing anything you don't want anymore. And so this is helping you to become a little lighter, more relaxed, letting go, letting go now. And allow this wonderful feeling, state of being into your cells, every cell of your body, as you become more and more relaxed now. And you may, if you haven't already, close your eyes with some more breaths through the nose and slowly exhaling, feeling more relaxed, lighter, more peaceful, drifting in your arms and legs and body. Drift, relax, let go. And this will open you up, allow you to turn your attention to a calm ocean, which is peacefully still. It's quiet, but wonderfully alive. And you can rest your attention on the still ocean surface, that still point on the ocean, merging with that point on the ocean, which connects you to everything of the ocean, even though there's a point that you're focused on, that still point on the surface. And this allows you to feel that connection to the ocean and to all the creatures, big and small, the algae, the beings. We're part of the ocean, part of the earth, part of us. Life there is full, rich, teeming, charged, and alive. And there's a flow, a natural flow, an ease and a fullness in this vast, watery body that so gracefully holds so much life. There's infinite life and connection. And let me see if I can kind of tap into the ocean body, the ocean spirit for a moment. The ocean spirit wants to know that it is with us, it supports us, it loves us, and it balances out the land, sort of the yin, and the land is more the yang. And it has so much life and so much to offer, so much depth. And it is essential for life, the water fluid in the ocean and the water in ourselves. So much of us is water. It's a wonderful medium to float, to gain nutrients and energy. And know that life can be very fluid and there's a lot of giving and receiving. And the ocean wants to know that it is giving all the time and it receives our love and energy, and also does want respect, respecting the ocean, just like we respect the land, treating it with honor and dignity and sacredness. And it's here to serve us by being and offering its vast, infinite riches to us, free of charge, just with the notion that there is a free, healthy exchange for us respecting and using the ocean, its beauty, its nutrients, its energy, its wisdom, its fluidity and dynamism to help us grow, evolve, and be who we are and are becoming. So we are connected with it all. We are connected with the ocean inside our body and inside the ocean. It's a wonderful world of wholeness. We're a part of it, as well as observing it. And we can receive and send messages too. Perhaps the ocean spirit is telling you something now, or sharing something with you, maybe in the form of the water itself or a creature from the water. And your soul is here too, to guide and support you. And there's invisible helpers and guides everywhere, in everything and everyone, including the ocean. And they may have something to contribute or share as well from your soul or guides. And there may be something you wish to ask, something maybe you need help with, maybe a resource that may be of help. You can listen and receive in this dynamic stillness, feeling it, letting it be, and seeing what emerges. And as you continue to quietly breathe, let what emerges come naturally to you. And if you want, you can make a mental note or a written note of what you're experiencing or what's coming through you, what you become aware of. And you can thank the ocean spirits, the ocean beings that you connected with, you know, that are there with us at all times as we live on the land. Most of us, most of the time we're on the land, but the ocean is an integral part of us in our universe. we thank it for all that it contributes and respect it and honor it as it supports us, and we can support it too. And you can come back to that still point where we started, that ocean still point on the surface, filled maybe now with more awareness, more experience and insight to enrich you now and going forward. And you can begin to shift your awareness back as you've finished thanking and appreciating the ocean and all your support and guides. As your awareness starts to come back now into the present time, feeling yourself where you are, making note of your body's position. Coming back, 1, 2, breathing through your nose, breathing out, coming back to the waking state. 3, ready to open your eyes. 4, feeling alert and alive. And as you open your eyes on 5, bringing this higher awareness and experience to you now throughout the day and going forward. All right.
Thank you, Philip.
Still point meditation.
I love that. And I love that you brought in the ocean spirit. A couple thoughts. I love manatees. And I have been to Florida so many times, and I have not seen one in the wild. And it is always my goal when I'm there to see one, and it just has not happened. They've just been elusive to me for some unknown reason. But in this meditation, it was clearly a manatee that was right there, right in my face. And it took me for a little swim there. It was a beautiful, sweet connection to the manatee spirit. So quickly I looked up the manatee to see what it symbolized. And it symbolizes compassion, peace, and curiosity. So I thought that was beautiful. But I just got a little manatee snuggle this morning, which was really fun for me. I appreciated a term that you used, and I want you to talk about this for just a minute. You used the term dynamic stillness. And for me, that is absolutely epitomizing meditation for me. Dynamic stillness. What does that mean to you?
It reminds me, going back to our initial discussion about keywords or things that have a lot of energy or charge in them, or meaning or inspiration. Dynamic stillness reminds me of another term which has that kind of energy for me, which is called relaxed alertness. So even though one is still, one has a tremendous amount of kind of latent or potential energy within that stillness. It's kind of like nothing is moving, but everything is there. It's like one is complete, dynamic. It's kind of like being and being and doing. So one is being, but sort of implied in being is that you're going to do things to enact that being. It's going to unfold. So it's seemingly a paradox, but it has both stillness and dynamism, ebb and flow. And that brings recently, life is ebb and flow. I've thought of that. And what is it? Ecclesiastes, a movement and a rest. There's a time for everything. That really has kind of entered in my awareness a lot lately. So we're in the ebb and flow. And dynamic stillness is a good place to go. So that is a kind of a koan, a solution to a lot of our problems. I mean, I was worried about something. It's funny, you don't even remember what you were so worried about, whatever it was, but it was very worrisome at the time. And then it kind of came into this, it could be said that dynamic stillness was the answer, which was really kind of trusting your higher awareness. Because when you're kind of left high and dry and everything seems empty and meaningless, then the dynamic stillness has all the answers and all the energy and breadth of life, because you might be in an ebb period. When you're in an ebb period, depending on who you are, that can seem like you're lost, nothing's going on, you're going backwards, you're stagnating, but you're just in an ebb.
Right.
And as sure as you're going to be it will go into a flow, especially if you don't get, what's the word, kind of crazy or distorted or neurotic about it, as shall we say. Things will flow one way or another, sooner or later, one way or another. And if you let them in more gracefully and naturally, then you can use the dynamic stillness.
I used to really fight that ebb time. It felt so ungrounding for me to just have downtime. And there were times that it felt like my guides were quiet. I mean, I remember going into meditation and I saw every one of my guides with their backs to me. And I thought, oh, well, great, guys. What is this about? And I realized that it was about me finding the answer, me knowing the answer and not having to rely on them. But I have learned to accept and really love those quiet times where they used to scare me and used to throw me off. I realize now that those down times are times of great learning for me. And it's when I'm fed that I grow so much. And when I'm doing constantly, I'm not in a place of being fed. I'm in a place of giving out. And so, yes, I appreciate those thoughts about the ebb and the flow. And I also love, Phillip, when I was so worried about something, and then I allow spirit to work with me and to clear those things out. And then I literally cannot remember what I was so concerned about. I love that.
Right. Jane and I often talk or write about getting lost in momentums, which is interesting because in 3D society, momentum is considered it's usually used very positively. And it can be, it could be a positive thing. But I think for many people, it's just a hurry, and another thing we call it is hurry and worry syndrome, where we're just continually busy doing one thing after the other. We're not processing, we're not integrating, we're not doing the quote downtime, and that kind of allows us to be receiving. It's like that Zen story, the famous Zen story where the Zen master is instructing the professor, he pours him tea and he keeps pouring in the tea and it keeps overflowing. He goes, stop that. The tea is overflowing. He goes, that's kind of like your mind, it's just overflowing. You're just continually putting stuff in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Phillip, can you take a minute and share with us your latest book?
Well, we are in the process actually of updating into a paperback, which isn't yet available. It will be called Awaken to the Loving Power of Your Soul. The most recent book that's on Amazon is The Ultimate Paradox. Let me see if I should have a copy of here. The Ultimate Paradox, The Ultimate Paradigm Shift. The Ultimate Paradigm Shift, and that is a very good book for it's basically how to become a creator in your life is the shift that we're writing about.
And when is Awaken to the Loving Power of Your Soul going to be available in paperback? Do you know?
The plan is in November if all goes accordingly.
Okay.
So that'll be, we'll kind of come back and let that go. We're very proud. That's a lot of different ways to connect consciously with your soul and how to get prepared and how to do some healing of the shadow work that is also part of the journey.
Yes, I've read that book and it's excellent. Now, you all were going to teach a class on that book, or you?
Well, when we unveil it again, I think we'll probably do some teachings of it. We did do a training course in it, and we do actually still have that available. So that's our first version. Do you want me, I can get the website here, I think, of where that still is.
while Philip is pulling that up, Awaken to the Loving Power of Your Soul is chock full of suggestions and activities that you can do right then and right there just to connect in and actually knowing yourself as a spiritual being that much more. Great activities in that book.
Yes, and I'll put it in the chat because it's
Okay.
a little longer URL, but it's our gettingthrough.org/spiritual/awaken. That would probably get it to you. gettingthrough.org/spiritual/awaken, and that's a program including the first version of the book, which will be coming out in paperback in November.
Excellent. Well, Philip, thank you so much for being here. And if folks want to know more about the work that you and Jane are doing, they actually do go to that gettingthrough.org, and they can see all kinds of things that you all have created over the years.
We have a lot of downloads, a lot of free trainings, and free publications and articles and videos, as we were kind of talking about earlier here.
Excellent. I highly recommend working with the Mountroses. They bring such a wealth of information to you. So please check them out. Philip, thank you for being here.
Great. Thanks, Ruth, for having me. Really enjoyed it.
Of course. And friends, thank you for joining us here at Enlightened World Network. You take good care today. We'll